everyone. As we're speaking, my trip to Greece is over, and I'm in India now. So if I reply at the weirdest times, is because the time zones are like all over the place. I wish I had more of an intro, but I'm like pre-recording like all of this in the last week of May, so everything is kind of the same. Let me think. So I was rereading the Love Hypothesis series because I bought those books, and my friend Ashley got me Practice Makes Perfect. So maybe I'll read that. I don't think I'll read it before my trip, but I'll probably read it in July. Again, this is also with my new mic, so hopefully this sounds better, like I said before. As for things that I'm currently doing, I am working on a Node.js course and also some SwiftUI for my Xcode. I was planning on like building apps, but let's see how far that one goes. So let's get into the episode. This episode is on workout splits. So for creating my workout split, I was inspired mainly by Gym Talk and deciding that like instead of doing like 15 different workouts, I needed like an actual workout split. But because I have like a home gym, so I wasn't really inspired by others in of a sense. But I used to like watch YouTube videos and stuff, and I was like, okay, so people are doing a workout split. I don't know what that is, but if you were like me before and you have no idea what a workout split is and how to start, this episode is for you. So for me, mainly, I use TikTok as a starting point, and I just picked up like top 5 common workouts I saw from the TikToks. Like I searched up hamstrings workouts, and I would like look at girls and be like, oh, they're doing. So all of them were doing like hamstring curls. So I was like, okay, like that's probably something I should be doing. And I don't remember the video exactly that I was looking at, but it was like you should do like these type of workouts first, and then that one like some like if you're doing like leg workouts, you should do some pull movement first. And I think like those are like RDLs kind of thing. So I don't think I'll find it because I don't have TikTok right now, but if you just like search up an order to do certain type of workouts, you'll probably find this like probably like not it's probably not like secret knowledge is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so basically a workout split is you do a certain type of workouts every day, not every day, but like every week, like you repeat the same type of workouts. So Monday would be arms, Tuesday would be legs, whatever. So this is just mine. And again, I want to say I'm not a health professional. Like I have never been licensed in a, so don't, don't break something. But yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, uh, and I did some research on them. Like I didn't just go by TikTok, and I also like looked at videos on like YouTube about workout splits. And if I was unsure on how to do like the proper technique, I would look at more videos on it and like look at websites about it. So make sure like you do your proper research because this is your body and you should know what you're trying to do before you do it. So this is how my split goes. Mondays is chest, triceps, and shoulders. Tuesdays is hamstring and glutes. Wednesday is back and biceps. Thursdays is cardio. Fridays, quads, and glutes. So I'll get into detail about each one and specific workouts I do. I try to have a set time for when I work out, and I realize that the evening just works better for me. I said before, like I don't go to the gym, but I do have equipment at home. But most of my workouts can be done without any heavy machinery, just weights, maybe a bench. Okay, so for my Monday workout, chest, triceps, and shoulders, I do 4 sets of 8. Basically, I got 8 reps, and then I give it a few seconds, and I do it again. I give myself a minute or two, and then move on. Like setting up for my next exercise is like my break usually. Okay, so for Monday, I do bench presses, but I just lay like backwards on the bench and use dumbbells. Like I know people use the bar with weights attached, but I only have like two 25 weight plates and two 10-pound plates. So it's a lot of work for me to remove them, put them on everything. So I just use 10-pound dumbbells and just lift that. Like I just do, what's that called? So I just do bench presses with those, and that works for me. And I also do shoulder press, 10 pounds each. And basically, like I'm not really gonna explain how to do the exact movement, mainly because this is also an audio file, so it's gonna be a bit hard. But like this, I just sit down on the bench, and like I sit up straight, and I just like kind of like 90-degree angle, put my hands and move them up and down. And then I do chest dips, 2 sets of 8. These ones are a different set because for me, this workout is harder. And if I go more than 2 sets, I sacrifice form. But I do see progress because it's getting like smoother for me and I can do more reps without reaching failure. And I have a pull-up bar and it has handles that I use. As for the equipment, I'll see if I can find the links and they will be in the show notes if I can find them. Most of them are from Amazon. So if you just search up pull-up bar, you probably find one. The next one I do is lat raises. I use 5 pounds just because this is harder in my opinion. I make sure to bend my knees a bit and like angle my hips and backs forward. Then I do tricep push downs. This one does not require equipment, but I don't have the actual machine. So I said this one does require equipment. So, but I don't have actual machine, like the ones that they use at the gym. So I tied one of those like rope stretchers and looped it around a pull-up bar. And I just use the ends of the rope stretcher to push down. So it's more of a DIY tricep push down, but if it works, it works. Something I recommend is also looking at like the basic anatomy of the human body. Just make sure you know where the biceps, triceps, and all that is, because obviously like the workout that you do, you want it to work a certain part. Like you obviously can't body squat like that, like fat or anything, but you can like when you're working out a certain workout, you want to make sure that you have that mind muscle like connection on where you're trying to target it. So if you're always thinking that you're working the wrong place, or you think you're working the right place but you're not, that's probably something that you should look at before you do the workout. So last one for Monday is tricep overhead extensions. I use a single 10-pound dumbbell, but I might like upgrade to 15 pounds in a week or two because it's getting easier. Again, it's like search it up on YouTube or TikTok or like maybe Instagram or whatever, and you'll find like the correct form. These are all 4 sets of 8 reps other than the chest dips because I feel like that's what works for me. I saw somewhere that like if you do more than 30 to 40 reps, like it's just you're not gaining much. So for Tuesday, I have glutes and hammies, which is just hamstrings. So the first are KAS hip thrusts and holds, again 4 sets of 8. So for these, like these are like the same setup as hip thrusts, but at the top, like you don't go all the way to the bottom, like you kind of just have minimal movement and and I hold it at the end of each rep. This is kind of dangerous. I don't I don't suggest anyone does do this, but because I don't like the plates I have, the radius or like the diameter of the plate is very low. So when I do put it on the barbell, it's very hard for me to have it on my like hips because I do lift, like I have 50 pounds plus this 10. So I have like around 60, 70 pounds on me. Sometimes even like 75. So it's hard for me to lift it on me using my hands because I don't have the same strength in my back, like in my arms. So what I do is I have a yoga mat, and before I move my hips up, I get into like proper form and make sure like my feet are where they're supposed to be. Again, like find this on YouTube and stuff. And then I just put the weights on the mat, and then I just raise my hips up. Like I go from there. Like I put the 25 pounds and I put another 25 pounds on there because I can lift 25 pounds, but I just can't lift 75 at once. And then I have like the dumbbell like next to me on the bench, or like the other 10-pound plate, and I lift my hips up and add that on there. But because it's 10 pounds, I'm not literally like worried about injuring myself. If it was like 25, I'm lifting from that angle, it would not be good. But I put the 10 pounds on there, and then I do my hip thrust, which is just like I go up and I go down I don't go all the way down. Like even if it's a normal hip thrust, like you go midway, I just go a very low and then lift up again, and then make sure to like tighten my glutes and all that. So I do the normal hip thrust on Thursdays or Fridays, but we'll get to that. So the next one is dumbbell hamstring curls, 4 sets of 8. I'm gonna admit, like setting this up at the beginning was very embarrassing because I was lifting the dumbbell with the wrong part of my foot. Like I was using the top part, but it's actually like near your heel, like your shins and like your calves kind of place. Like that's where you put the dumbbell, not between. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just search up the form because I did search it up. I looked at the wrong place. So, if you're doing this and you're, like, struggling way too much for someone struggling with dumbbell hamstring curls, just check the video again, in my opinion. Okay, so next is RDLs. So for RDLs, like, I know it's kind of hard to get your form correct because, like, you might be, like, looking, you don't know because you've never done RDLs if you are a beginner, or even someone who does work out but doesn't normally do workouts without, like, a YouTube video or, like, a personal trainer. So make sure, like, you watch the video for what you're targeting. So, for example, if you're targeting glutes, you tuck in your chin a little bit more, and you bend your knees and kind of have that mind muscle connection with your glutes and make sure you're tightening them and stuff. As for if you're doing it like targeting legs, you do a different form. So make sure that you have that kind of ready to know. Like you can always write it down or whatever, or have screenshots of people doing it, or like a short 30-second video What I suggest is if you're looking at these on TikTok, don't save them on, I mean, save them on TikTok too, but also download it. So when you're referring back to it, you're not really kind of doom scrolling or like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's easy to just keep on scrolling and you're not working out. So I do those 4 sets of 8. The next one is single leg RDLs. So those are also 4 sets of 8, and I do either 2 on each if I'm not really feeling it that day. But if I am feeling it, I kind of do 3 sets on each leg. So again, just look it up. Same kind of the same like idea. Next, I do step ups. So I don't have the proper equipment, so I kind of do with the bench whatever I have. And I'm sure my equipment is kind like my technique is kind of like it's not wrong enough to injure. Like I don't use weights for it just because I think I'm doing it kind of wrong, so it's not as easy as it should be. But I'm trying to improve on that once a week. So those are 4 sets of 10 because, in my opinion, it's just a bit not easier. It's just I just do 4 sets of 10 for this one. The next one is an absolute devil yoga ball roll ups, 4 sets of 20. So I saw someone on TikTok doing this. I was like, okay, like this seems like a good way to end my routine. Like it seems kind of relatively easy. It is not. Like I am sweating more than I have this entire workout in this singular routine. So, like, you need a yoga ball for this one. If you don't, I'm not sure what you can use. I would just look up yoga ball roll up, maybe alternatives, or maybe just skip this one. Because I think we've already done, like, what? We've done, like, 5. Yeah, 5. So, basically, you put, like, your legs on the yoga ball on the rest of your body, kind of like if you were doing hip thrusts with no bench, like you were just doing it like on the floor flat, and then you kind of roll the ball back and forward. And for me, like I kind of struggled with balance at the beginning just because my core strength wasn't up to par for this one. So what I did, I held weights behind my hands, like behind my head. Like I would just hold up a weight on the floor, like I would grab onto something so I would have some balance. So if you're struggling with balance when you do this, just try holding on something. So next one is back and biceps for Wednesday. So I start off with like easy bicep curl. Oh, yeah, before y'all do all of these, please do a warm up, stretch. Like I tried so basically I usually work out with a YouTube video or something. So I like pick one and I like stretch at the beginning, touch my toes the whole like just do a warm up routine, 5 minutes, whatever. Just make sure you do it. So yeah, so bicep curl 4 sets of 10, just because I don't know, like they're easier for me than other workouts. So I just do 4 sets of 10. Make sure that you have proper form for that, and don't try to lift too heavy because you think you can do it. Just easier to start slow and then build up. You can always do the first 2 sets with like a lower pound dumbbell and the last 2 sets with like your usual one. The next one is one arm dumbbell row, like for your, this is targeting my back, so 4 sets of 8 each side. So what I do is because on my bench, where you can put the bar is like not stand, but like there's something I can hold on to. So I hold on to that, kind of bend my knees, and like kind of go forward like an RDL kind of, or just something else that I had my back for. Oh, lat raises. So kind of like you're doing a lat raise basically, and then bring the dumbbell back and make sure that you are feeling it in your back. Because if not, then maybe take a video of your form and watch videos and kind of compare that. So then I do pull-ups, which is like the usual pull-up 4 sets of 2. So I saw this girl on TikTok. This is all a while ago. Every time I say it's TikTok, because at the beginning of my workout, like split creation, I was on TikTok. I'm not now, but that's where I'm getting all these TikToks from. But basically, she said try doing negative push-ups. Basically, you kind of like go onto the push-up, like you kind of jump up, so you're already up there with your chin above the bar, and slowly let yourself down. So if you're struggling with pull-ups like me, then that's maybe you should try that. And I do see like I'm getting stronger on lead, like I'm going slower on the way down, because before I would just like barely be able to like go down without like just leaving it, but now I can see myself like holding myself up. So try doing those. And I do a back row pull bar. So for that, I just sit on the bench, and you know where you can, there's like a place like at the very end of the bench where there's like weights attached for like quad curls and like hamstring curls or whatever. So for that, I just like hold that and kind of use it for my back because I don't have the actual back row machine. For this one, I'm sure you could just use actual dumbbells and just move your like back like you can move it outwards. So you can just search up back exercises with dumbbells or like without machine and see what pops up and use one of those. And then I do dumbbell back fly, 4 sets of 10. So basically, this is kind of similar to the lat raise, just with the positioning. So like my knees are a bit bent, kind of thing. And then I don't completely move my back forward like when I like with lat raises you go upwards, but with these ones you go to the side because well you're targeting your back. So like you go to the side and you go backwards. So just search it up. The way I'm describing it is kind of weird. And then hammer curls, 4 sets of 8. If you don't know the difference between hammer curls and bicep curls, just Google it. Hammer curls I think are more vertical, but I could also be wrong, so don't quote me. On Thursdays, I used to time out like I would try to do abs, like core, and then do like 20 minutes elliptical. I'm not a fan of that routine anymore, so I just go for a walk, and I feel like this kind of just lets me breathe a bit more, and I just put on my headphones, listen to a podcast, go like listen to music and just walk. So maybe I think I'll start running when I come back from my trip and then see how that goes, but we'll see. Anyways, the last day, Friday, glutes and quads. So I do normal hip thrusts, 4 sets of 8. So the same dangerous, not setup like last time. Like I sit exercise mat with plates. Except this time I go halfway and go up. So it's like different than the KAS ones. And I do goblets, squats, 4 sets of 8. So basically I have the 25 pound plate under my leg, like my heel, and I use that and I go down and like I squat, and then I do quad curls, 4 sets of 8. This one is my favorite exercise. I love quad curls. Like I'm hitting 6 sets of this, like not really, but like 5 sets sometimes, or I go a little bit extra than 8 till failure. I love quad curls. There you go. I use a machine for this. I just, like the bench I was talking about, like at the end, I just put my legs under the weight. It's weird. Just if you don't have the machinery or like the equipment for quad curls, I would just search up alternatives. Maybe putting your I feel like there's other quad exercises that you could do that don't need like a machine. So the next one are Bulgarian splits, 4 sets of 8. So every time I do this workout and I am absolutely tired and done after quad curls, and I look at the next one, I see Bulgarian splits, I curse every time because somehow I forget that after killing my legs, I still have the biggest demon left to go. So that's how it is. So basically for that, I use the bench, one leg on there. This girl on TikTok. So she said like, put your leg and like the other leg on the floor and the other one on the bench, like your, like what's that called, your calf, like your shin, and kind of like relax that. Your ankle. It's an ankle. I forgot the word for the ankle. It's an ankle, and then kind of go all the way back on your foot that's on the bench. Like for example, your left foot's on the bench. You go all the way back on your left foot, and then like your right foot should be like your heel should be on the floor, and then that's where you kind of go up from there. The search of Bulgarian split form technique, and then you'll find it. Whatever I'm saying is absolute gibberish. So I do 4 sets of those. I am cursing and killing myself at the end. However, if I'm not really feeling it at, like, let's say I had my period the other week, or I'm just done, and I just do 2 sets, because I think by that time in my like workout, if I'm really like exhausted, like not from my workout, but like genuinely exhausted from the day, like mentally or whatever, then I tell myself like, okay, like I've done the workout and I'm still not feeling as good as I usually would. Like it's okay for me to go a little bit back, so I only do 2 sets on each leg instead of 3 or 4. But like, I mean, obviously people all the time don't want to feel exhausted to work out, but when you do work out in the middle of it, you're like, yeah, like I'm feeling it. So but when you're not feeling it like you usually are, then it's okay to not do as many sets. So the last one for Friday is glute medius with resistance bands. This is one of the most DIY exercises I have ever done, because if you thought those tricep push downs or that hip thrust technique was off the racks, this one is awful. So I use the same rope stretcher, except for the like, because my pull-up dip has those handles I use for chest dips, I tied a stretcher around that, and then I put the handle in my like my shoes in the handle, like my feet is attached, it's around my ankle, and I kick back. And I also add ankle weights if I'm really feeling like putting them on. So just watch a technique video and see what you have in your house that provides resistance. I would use a resistance band, except like the bottom part isn't compatible with I don't know. My technique works just fine. It might take me 2 or 3 tries to really hit that spot, but I'm getting there. Okay, so on Saturday, Sunday, I either do a walk, which I usually do, or I just do whatever exercise I didn't do. Sometimes I just don't exercise on the weekends. Like, I'll probably just go for a walk, to be honest. Probably the most I'll do. I'll never really. Something about me is I won't do like Monday's workout or like Wednesday's workout because I'm already doing it. So I don't know. Like, if I missed one last week, like for example, as I'm recording this, I missed Friday's workout. I still haven't done it because my mom made me go on a walk with her both days. But you know what? It's the thought that counts. I could have gone. I would have done it. Because sometimes I just don't feel like changing into a sports bra and shorts and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just go for a walk. Because it's like, put a jacket on, put my shoes on, and it's like, I'll go for a walk. But I'm starting to really like my workout split, because before I'd be like, oh, I don't want to work out. But now I'm like, I'm kind of excited because I get to like watch a YouTube video on something, or I would like watch a show. And I actually like weightlifting compared to like cardio. And I don't mind running. I think I just stopped for a while because like track and field kind of like threw me in a rut. So that's kind of where I am for that. So as this episode is released, I will have I believe a reel and maybe a post on Loop Coop Shop. So check that out. You can use my code TheLazyGal10 for 10% off your order. I will also have, I believe, 2 podcast episodes up, one on POC and one on my top books of the year. The one on POC is like, it's about POC glamorization. It's not all about people of color. And I also have a guest post on animals in the workspace. I will link all of those down below. I think I'll link the post down below, or I will have that link below when I'm back, because I don't think I'll be able to add the links just yet. So yeah, and then this is released more near the end of the month, so I will have my email newsletter in a week or 2. So if you want to be on that, you can sign up down below. I'll have the link in my show notes. And if you're excited, or you not excited, if you want to see anything about my vacation or like my trip to Greece, I'll probably post a lot of it on my Instagram. So be sure to check that out at _LazyGal. Again, it'll be linked out in my link tree below, so feel free to check that out. If you missed anything like my study series, I did in May and a little bit of April, again, in my link tree or in my Instagram under guides and highlights of study series. Okay, and then, and I also have a guest podcast episode on In My Thoughts podcast by Patty Olivia, and that will be released, I believe, June 14th. So I will hopefully have enough internet to put that on my story, and when I am back, I'll try my best to link it down below if I remember. If I don't, just text me if you want to see it. So I talked about like leaving things in the past and the energy like that you should leave in the past, and how to be happier of letting things go and everything. So if there's something that you want to listen to, be sure to check that out. Thank you guys for listening. See you later.